To Colorado.
Yeah. I didn't know where to go from there.
Okay.
We made it to Colorado.
We've been wanting to go to Colorado for a long time. For Jack, it's really personal.
Yeah, I had been to Colorado before, and like a few years ago when I started this whole like van life, not going to college thing, like a big thing of mine was always like, oh, I'm gonna like live in a van and go to Colorado and go skiing. And so, like, me and my friend Gabe, who were visiting in Colorado, and, like, he's how we got around in Colorado and had, like, a few extra amenities lying around for us. Me and my friend Gabe had worked together for, like, 2 years, saving up money, and he got a van, too, and we're, like, gonna go to Colorado. So it was super emotional and satisfying, and I was really proud of myself for all the work I had done. And, like, finally getting there, I was, like, literally crying, like, just crossing the border into Colorado. It seems, like, so simple, but I was, like, crying and, like, just such a good moment to finally get there.
Colorado has definitely been somewhere that's like always called to me, just like based on that's definitely really loud.
Yeah, we're like at the Indy 500 right now, and so video coming soon, but that's the extra noises you might hear. So
just from what I've heard on the internet.
And being from Bum State, New York, it's like a super magical, like mythical, legendary place kind of.
I love mountains, and like that's, you know, the Rocky Mountains are right there, so I've always wanted to go there, but
we made it.
If you didn't know, we made it.
We finally got to the point where we made it to Colorado.
Gabe was not around, so
Gabe didn't even know we were coming.
Yeah, we were gonna surprise him, but then he wasn't there.
Yeah, he decided to leave town for the day, so we parked at a park that I don't want to offend anything by mispronouncing the name, so it's right here. And it was super great because it was a really pretty park, and it was like relieving because we got out there and we're like living out of our van on the side of the road, but no one like bat an eye at it. Like it was so normal to do that there.
I can speak for myself when I say that.
And me.
Yeah. When we got to Boulder, like the energy just changed. Like we had been traveling for probably a month.
Yeah, about.
And definitely found it hard to find time for ourselves and just getting adjusted to van life. And then we get to Boulder, and all of a sudden we just felt a lot better.
Inspired. There was like space to do things. There was energy to do things. There was beautiful parks to do things in. Like we're playing music and doing yoga and all this stuff in this park, and like I'll be looking down at my computer or something making some music, and I'll just like look up, and then I'll like keep looking up in order to look at the tops of the mountains that are surrounding us, and it's just like incredible beauty and just constantly feeling inspired.
And we like even the very next day we woke up early to do a little hike at the park to see the sunrise. So even that was like a great start to the week. We spent a whole week in Boulder.
Yeah, and for everyone back home, like the city of Boulder is at like 5,400 feet in the air, something like that. And just for context, like the highest mountain in New York State is like 5,000 feet. So we're going on the Sunset hike, and we're just climbing like, I don't know, half a mile or something, a couple miles, and we're already like 1,000 or 2,000 feet above any of the highest places that we've been back home. So it's super beautiful. The sunset was cool over the city. It was like over Boulder, and like you could see Denver in the distance. It was really awesome.
We ended up connecting with some people we know from back home, our small ass town.
Shout out Maple Hill.
Yeah, Alex and Skylar. So Alex lived in Denver, and Skylar was visiting him. We ended up going to Rocky Mountain National Park with them, which was really epic. Like such a cool national park. The leaves and the aspens were like just changing, so it was yellow patches throughout the mountains.
It was our first taste of like the grandiose involved in like the Rocky Mountains, and like the scale of scenery that you're able to see. And again, it's just kind of the tip of the iceberg because we had just gotten there, and we were still planning on traveling after Boulder, so we knew we weren't going to stay there for long and couldn't do a lot of things, but like just getting a feeling of how much is really out there and how much you can really do just based out of this small spot in Boulder.
Definitely when we got further into the national park, more on roads. We talked about this a little bit in our last video, just how the roads were built, carved into the mountains. It was like really incredible. But once we were really like in the heart of the park, all you could see, like you look all around you like 360, it was just like mountains and mountains and mountains. And I was just thinking, like, what if the whole world was like this? Like, that would just be crazy.
It's great to have the roads there because you can go there, but then, you know, with us, we're both like feel very connected to like the earth, and like seeing like roads and buildings, and it's kind of sad in some ways, and some of the ways were less invasive than others. Like, I think just a road is great. Like, it's nothing compared to like the trees that we saw that with no leaves on them.
Yeah, we were finding some evidence of like climate change. Like, one of the park rangers there was talking about how the beetles have been able to survive throughout like the winters because the temperatures are higher, so larger population, they just eat the shit out of the trees, and the trees, a lot of patches of the trees we could tell in the park were dead or dying.
Yeah, you get confused, like, because there's forest fires all the time too, but it's hard to tell, like, is that forest fire damage or is it like beetle damage? Got
to end our little adventure in the park with a rainbow. That was cute.
And the first snow of the year, I think it was before October. It was I think it's the first time I saw snow before October. But
first snow of the year, September 27th. Let's go.
This is like the earliest snow I've had. Granted, we were
in a tundra,
11,000 feet in the air. It was still super cool to see it, and it was cold and blowing, and there was some dude there in fucking shorts and a t-shirt. Like, it was crazy. And after this, we finally got to meet up with Gabe. He was back from his trip into the mountains from the weekend, and we were more, you know, hanging out there. And we actually parked the van near his apartment on the side of the street, so we had like quick shower nearby, laundry, all this stuff. It
was really nice how comfortable we could be just parked on the side of the road and sleeping there. Like, really, like we said at the beginning of the video, no one cared. And like the parking was free on a lot of those streets. And then the main street of like shopping and stuff was Pearl Street, right like the block over. And we ended up spending a lot of money when we were in Boulder, just on like food, honestly.
Yeah, a lot of food.
And yeah, having good times. And so we did find that was really, it was nice to do that. It brought joy to our lives.
We had been living on like the lowest amount of money we could spend, like, you know, and personally I wasn't even like really eating enough food because it's just, again, building a whole routine and figuring everything out is such a lifestyle change. And when we get into Boulder and I'm like all these restaurants and the energy is amazing, like I just wanted to eat in, kind of like a treat to us for like doing so well in the van, first of all, and second of all, like it's just great to find an area that we like. Like, it was great to find a place that like feels like welcoming and like exciting was important. And so we spent a lot of money, but you know, that's kind of just how it is. And it's a double-edged sword because, you know, you have a good time, but it's just like in vain almost, because like the only way that you can have a good time
in that way is to spend money.
Yeah, like obviously, like compared to like, you know, everyone knows this, but like in order to have a better life you need to be wealthier, and that's just very evident in Boulder.
Yeah. And we both really love coffee, so we went to a lot of different coffee shops, like trying them out, spent some time there like editing videos and seeing the pictures we've taken throughout the week.
It was kind of the first time we like really looked back on all of our travels too. Like, we had gone all the way through South Dakota and then into Boulder and all the, you know, a couple Great Lakes and stuff like that, and we found that we actually like missed the time together that we had already like spent in the van. Even though we were in like some crazy place with like the most up vibes ever, like we were still like, oh, like I miss this. Yeah. It was validating, honestly. It was a good feeling to like miss a good part of your life like that. Like, it was good. But
this, being in Boulder, this was the first chunk of time that we spent not moving. Finally settling down somewhere for, even if it was just a week, allowed us to start thinking about where we want to like kind of live, because traveling, like we don't really have set plans, which is really awesome. We're just kind of driving, seeing where we want to go, and we get to Boulder and we both really like it, and we're like, well, maybe we should start thinking about getting jobs. And that's why I think we were both okay with like spending money.
The only place in my life I considered living was like home in upstate New York, because that's all I had known, and I knew I hated it there. We found a spot that was much better, and also we're able to think about settling down more because, like I said, I worked for 2 years after high school, and so I had a savings account, but I also like bought this van, and I was like, I'm like running out of money.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, we're not working right now.
Venmo the man named Jack. Drop anything you can. Like, we're desperate.
But yeah, we've strictly been traveling for like over a month right now. That's why we were trying not to spend money.
As I am strapped for money in Boulder, I decided to buy a really nice pair of rollerblades. But yeah, because all my life I have played ice hockey and ice skated, and I love the feeling. And I go to, like, as we're traveling and as I've gone to like college campuses or like anywhere where I've seen like bike paths or like, I'm like, oh, this would be so fun to rollerblade. So I bought a pair of rollerblades, and then I absolutely ate it and tore open my knees like I never have before.
Him and Gabe like went on a little ride together. Like, Gabe was biking and he was on his rollerblades, and they come back like not even like 10 or 15 minutes later, because I was just like waiting in the van chilling out. They come back
before our date that we were going on.
Yeah, we were going on a date that night, but they come back and Jack is just, his knees are bleeding,
dripping like blood down my knees, and I'm like shaking, and it hurts so bad, like my elbow's bleeding, and I'm like, I had fun, like.
But he got wrapped up. He wrapped himself up real good. His
enough
wounds.
To go out on a date and look nice as. We looked so good. Probably the best looking couple in Boulder that weekend.
Yeah, but this was his face at dinner because he was not having a great time.
I had a great time. It's just like always aware
pain.
of how painful my knees were, and
Yeah.
But it was a great adventure nonetheless, and we had such a fun time, and we decided to take you along for a day in the life of living in the van with us. And so that's what our next video is going to be. If you're interested in it, subscribe and click the bell. Again, send this video to your mom. Send the video to everyone you know. I hope you guys like when we like talk at you. Our clips lack a lot of context right now. We're just still figuring everything out in the van life.
That's why a day in the life will be a switch up.
Yeah, so like I said, follow for the next video, and it'll be a day in the life. We'll take you through what we do in a day, and it's really fun. And
see you next time, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you there. You just have to be there. Peace.
Goodbye.